If you're finding yourself in a spot where you think that honoring student voice is going to slow down your curriculum, you're not wrong. At the start, it will. But overall, it's definitely going to speed up your ability to get through the curriculum. But remember, the curriculum is not just the written document that the government gives you. The curriculum is everything involved in building the learning of the child. One of the questions I get asked most is, what do I do when I lose control? How do I give student voice without losing control? Well, the fact of the matter is, the whole paradigm shift requires you to lose control. But it doesn't require you to lose expertise or experience. Our job as adults, our job as guides, is to help coach and guide students who have less experience and expertise into a world that already exists, without taking away their creativity. So you will lose your power, but you will rely on your expertise and experience to help coach and guide them through the curriculum. When we're building the web of rights and thinking about how rights and rules interact, you definitely need to have a foundation of respect. And that foundation of respect doesn't come from a hierarchy of teacher-tell. It comes from an understanding of community build. At the beginning of every year, teachers often run through the classroom rules and develop it with students. This is the start. We do need to develop rules with students, but it needs to come from students first, and it often ends up coming from the system first. Like thou shalt, put your hand up and ask for permission, and permission. It needs to come from student voice first. We need to center the rights and the rules around students, not system. Many times I walk into classrooms and I see one or two students who are disrupting the learning of others. And this lives entirely in the current paradigm. In the current paradigm where it says all grade 5s shall learn this one thing at this time. Well, if there's 25 grade 5s in a class and 2 of them are disrupting the learning, it's not so much their fault, it's the fact that the system has convinced us educators to teach one thing to 25 kids instead of having 25 kids learning 25 different things. Do what feels right is one of the mottos that I work with in life and I work with as an educator. It's one of those slogans that I use with students when we're talking about maybe some uncivilized behavior or student-initiated aggressive behavior. We talk about what feels right to do. When I get asked the question, well, if I just have it a free-for-all and students can do whatever they want, that's not going to work. And that's not what we're talking about here when we're talking about honoring student voice. We're talking about building a community such that every single member in that community understands each other to the point that they will do what feels right for the community, not for themselves. So if this is implemented properly and over a long enough time to build a strong community, you won't run into the issue of students are going to do whatever they want versus honoring student voice. They'll be the same, but what they want will be what is right. If students, or a student in particular, begins challenging your authority, you might be onto something. In flipping this power dynamic, we want them to challenge our authority. We want to be able to take that challenge and turn it into dialogue, not just to sit down, be quiet, or a student saying, I hate you, and storming out of the class. Challenges to authority is how this paradigm shift happens. But we have to have built that community and that connectiveness such that when there is a push towards authority and a challenge to you, it involves conversation and dialogue. If you're stuck in a situation where you feel like your students, or a student in particular, is refusing to work, it's not the student's fault. Unfortunately, you need to look inward. The student wants to work. Students and humans want to gain knowledge. It's in our DNA. It depends what knowledge they want to build and who they are. Maybe get to know your student a little bit better. Do it 10 by 2, where for 10 days, you meet with them one-on-one for 2 minutes. It's a very proven, effective way of building capacity and understanding in your students so that you have a better understanding of how to guide and coach them through the curriculum. One of the things you'll find on my website is a little blurb about critical mass and achieving that. If you're in a school and you're finding that it's very hard for you to implement systems that honor student voice because your school, maybe your administrator, or you don't have critical mass yet, there isn't enough support, just keep digging at it. Keep sharing this information. I am not some guru on this. This is information that I've found from everywhere. This is real. This is where the system is moving, and everyone needs to jump on board. Don't give up. Let them give in.